What does surrender mean? Well, what does alcoholism mean? Isn't alcoholism the surrender to alcohol? That no matter what, I am going to drink? That it is my master? When alcohol calls, I answer? And what happens if I ignore my master? If I use enough willpower to say no and fight the urge to drink? I become miserable.
Life is pain! I wake up every morning, I'm in pain. I go to work in pain. You know how many times I wanted to just give up? How many times I've thought about ending it?
When I stop fighting that urge to drink, when I surrender and succumb to my master and drink it,
medicine.
My problems go away.
Medicine is what it is. Bona fide cure. Depression, stress, remorse, failure, it wipes it all away. The mind is a blackboard, and this is the eraser.
Believe it or not, I've been surrendering all along. I was surrendering to alcohol, and it worked. It treated my internal condition, my depression, my anxiety, my mental health issues, my loneliness, my spiritual malady. I would surrender and give my problems to alcohol.
Alcohol was created to distract us from existential dread.
However, the problem with being an alcoholic is that I cannot control myself once I've started drinking. I have no idea where my master is going to take me and how far it'll drag me through the mud. And the problem with alcohol is that it eventually stops working as it once used to. I used to surrender to alcohol and I had no problem doing it until it stopped working, until the pain became too much, until the damage was done. However, I would remain a slave to my master. I wanted to quit drinking. If I was ever to get off the dependence of alcohol, I'll need to find a new master to serve.
What master do you serve? What master do I serve? What am I supposed to say, Jesus?
In this video, I'm going to explain my surrender to AA, to life, to my higher power, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. Now, I believe that God, whatever God is, exists within us. We are a part of this universe, obviously. Or a better way I understand it is that the universe is a part of us. The big book says, God is everything or God is nothing, either is or isn't. Therefore, a part of God has to be a part of me, since I'm a part of the universe. To me, God is the universe and everything in it, in exactly the way it is, the flow of it, the laws that govern it. Now, my alcoholism had pushed that part of the universe within me down, so far down that I wasn't awake to it, I wasn't connected to it, and because I wasn't connected to it, I wasn't connected to everything and everyone else. I was isolated.
I almost died of alcoholism because I didn't know what people meant when they said surrender.
I had put myself through so much pain that eventually I was able to listen to when the universe pushed back a little. In a moment of defeat and clarity, at the age of 29, I realized I can't do it like this anymore. I need help. Clearly, I have no idea what I'm doing. This was the start of my shift into what I was surrendering to. When I first went to AA, I hated it, but I did it. And I thought just by doing that, I had surrendered. I was delusional. Everyone there was too happy, too fake. Everyone there was just pretending, the smiles, the charade. I knew you were all putting up a front. I mean, who in their right mind wants to wake up, go to work, deal with everything life throws at you, relationships, kids, and then go to an AA meeting and inquire about how someone else's day is going? My first meetings, everyone kept asking me how I was doing, asking all sorts of questions about me. I just wanted to be left alone. It all just seemed so exhausting, especially since none of you know anything anyways, and none of you actually care that much about each other anyways, I can tell. I just want to get sober. The truth was, I was only going to AA and doing everything in it because of selfish reasons. I wanted to keep my job. I wanted my parents and my friends to get off my back. I wanted to stop the bleeding of debt I was accruing. I only wanted what I thought I needed. I didn't surrender at all.
Haven't surrendered. Surrendered what? There's nothing left of me.
It wasn't until I had a perspective shift into understanding what surrender even is. And for me to understand what it was, I had to experience it for what it is, and not just think of it as some idea or some theory.
And there is only one thing that any alcoholic ever has to give up. There's only one thing that stands before me in all the abundance and wonderful things that God would give me, and that is my judgment.
To surrender is to listen to the universe and to do what it tells you to, and to stay connected to it, and not judge whether it is right or wrong. Going to AA meetings, the 12-step program, sponsoring people was the way I woke up and got connected to the universe. But I'm the one who has to still listen to the universe and follow through with its instructions for me.
You need to forget about what you know. That's your problem. Forget about what you think you know about life, about friendship, and especially about you and me. What? Hitting bottom isn't a weekend retreat. It's not a goddamn seminar. Stop trying to control everything and just let go. Let go!
All right, fine.
Today I live surrendered. How does that look? I live my life understanding that my life isn't about me. At first I went to AA for me, but now I go to AA so I can help others.
Arrogance and fear still keep you from learning the simplest and most significant lesson of all.
Which is?
It's not about you.
Because that, to my knowledge, is why we go to AA, and to do the steps and become sober and awakened so that we can become useful to our fellow humans, not just useful for ourselves. To me, that's what surrendered is. When I got my job and started making money, I thought it was all for me. The money, the status, the nice material things. And I used it all for me too, to make me feel better. And these things only led me to worsening depression. Now I understand that my job wasn't for me. I was being used by the universe, by my higher power, for the job, to be a good employee, to help my company make profits, because that's why they hired me. And when I do get paid to do my job, the money isn't for me. The universe isn't putting the money in my hands for me.
I need more money.
The universe is giving me the money to use it how it wants me to use it, to pay my taxes, to contribute to society, to help my girlfriend make her way through quitting her job and going back to school, to tip the waitress a bit when I can, to give to charities and donate when I can, to help make these YouTube videos.
And there's plenty more where that came from.
To buy dog food for my 3 dogs. And the dogs, well, they weren't given to me by the universe. I was given to my dogs by the universe. To rescue them from the shelter, to provide a home for them, to care for them. I could go on and on about these examples. This is how I live a life of being surrendered. None of it is mine. Not the money, not the job, not the car, not the house, not the girlfriend. And none of my opinions and judgments actually matter in the grand scheme of things. The only things my opinions and judgments of other people, of situations, of whatever, will do is disconnect me and make me resentful. If I start trusting my opinions and judgments, I am playing God, and I am living in fear, because I am not trusting the universe. I am not accepting the universe to be exactly the way it is. I am a tool of the universe. I am an instrument of my higher power. I am a slave to God. God is my master. Because if God isn't my master, I'll find another master without even realizing it. The intense, rigorous, and straightforward process of the 12-step program from the book of Alcoholics Anonymous is what removed the self-centered lens I had been living with my whole life. Every one of my symptoms of alcoholism had been a result of living self-centeredly. When I live self-centered, I am playing God. When I judge you, I am playing God. When I resent you, I am playing God. When I am fearful, I am playing God. Isn't all that just me trying to control whatever it is I'm trying to control?
Turns out resentment is corrosive, and I hate it. Me too.
It's like a poison. It can take you over.
When I surrendered and accepted what is and put it in the universe's hands, when I leave it to God and have faith that what is and what will be is the way it's supposed to be, I live freely and I can be of use to others. Surrendering does not mean just admitting I have a problem. It doesn't mean just going to AA. It doesn't mean just working the 12-step program. It means giving it to God, whatever that is. Going to AA and working the steps is just my way of getting to God, so I can live surrendered. The Serenity Prayer is more than something we simply say at meetings. For me, it is a profound guide to surrender that I live by, to accept the things I cannot change. What can I not change? Well, generally people and their free will, their sovereignty. For them to be as they are, not as how I think they should be. I cannot change them. I cannot control them. I can't control the opinions of others. I cannot control the opinions of my family, my friends, my girlfriend, my coworkers, or the way they live, or what they believe in. The moment I try to change people and bend them to my will is the moment I give up faith in God and become God, which doesn't work. It's not up to me to change them, or to correct them, or to adjust them. And do I even need them to change? Why do I want them to change in the first place? Probably for selfish reasons regarding me. And is changing whatever it is I want to change any good anyways? Usually when I'm trying to change things, it just means I'm fighting things. My brother is an alcoholic, and I wanted him to change so he wouldn't go through what I went through. I wanted to help him. In reality, I was just trying to control him, not accepting that he needs to go through his own journey, and that I needed to step back, and that I'd be able to help when he came to me for help, not the other way around. And what about the courage to change the things we can, and knowing the difference? This is why I meditate. This is why I pray for answers. Because I don't know what I can and cannot change, but God knows, and I just need to listen, to surrender. Since initially surrendering to the reality that I need help and surrendering and committing to a new way of life through Alcoholics Anonymous, a life of action, connection, and not within self, I've been able to live a life of acceptance, peace, and serenity as I walk hand in hand with the spirit of the universe. My judgments and my opinions no longer get in the way of how I perceive everyone and everything. The things that used to sever my spiritual connection no longer have any bearing with how the universe and how God wants me to live my life. I'm connected to the love and the beauty of the universe as I live within its sunlight, and not within my darkness.